Welcome to the Immigrant Take with Jess and Jem, your weekly rendition of being an immigrant here in Van City, looking at different perspectives of what it means to be a part of this beautiful community. Hey, Jess, how are you today?
I'm good, girl. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, so on today's episode, we are going to get to know you, Jem, a little bit more.
Yeah.
Uh, you're in the hot seat now, right? All right, so let's just start off right off the bat. Tell us where you're from and where you're living. We know your name already, but you can go ahead if you want to tell us
So,
other
uh,
areas.
so born in Uganda, raised in a small itty bitty town called Fort Erie out in Ontario, and currently located here in beautiful British Columbia in Vancouver.
Right, nice. What brought you and your family out here from your little bitty city into Van City?
To be honest, I came here in exploration of the wild west. No. um but I've always wanted to live out in the west. I wanted to live in California, but when I left home after high school, my mom's like, you can't live in America by yourself. So my big bro was moving out to Vancouver, so I just tagged along and been here ever since.
Right on. I don't blame you. I mean, coming from the East Coast, I would not trade it from the for anything to live out there.
I'm telling you. Well, I do miss some things about it. Like, I don't know. I feel like for me, because I'm not so outdoorsy, I feel like I can do more stuff out east, but I can't trade the weather for anything. So
Right.
that's the real clincher here.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's basically what I meant by that too.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell us, like, what kind of what's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? What's your favorites? There you go.
Yeah. My favorite color for sure is any shade of blue. I just
Ooh,
love any shade of blue.
wow.
Food, I know most people consider me to be a picky eater, but oh, I just love so many different types of food. But if I had to choose just one, like what's your last meal? I'd hands down say my toke would be nyewa, which is like a food from Uganda. And if you know, you know it's amazing.
You got to describe it. You can't just
Oh,
say a food
the
from.
taste is just, it brings you, well, maybe not for everyone, but for me, it brings me to like that nostalgic feeling of like, this is home. Like, this
Uh,
is what home feels like.
so wait, is it like a pastry or is it like a
Um,
meal, like an entree, a dessert, like
it'd be
carbs,
more like an
veggies?
entree. It's actually green banana, so not like plantain banana, but like
The unripe one, yeah.
no, it's not an unripe banana. It's always green. It doesn't get ripe. Well, not ripe in the way bananas get ripe here, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's matoke, Matooke, and it's delicious. And then
Oh,
beignet was like a peanut sauce. So the way my mom makes it, which is the best way in my book, is like fried. I don't know, the process is long, but she does it without fish for me. Most people like it with like the fish, but she knows I'm not a person who partakes of things from the ocean. So she makes it without fish and it's amazing.
all right, on. I'll have to try that one day.
Yeah. One
I
day
love cultural
when
food.
I learn, if I learn, I don't know, I feel like I don't want to learn to make it because it gives me a reason to stay connected with my mama. Like,
Aww.
yeah, but I should learn how to make it. But the matoke process is long, and I'm not one for long processes when it comes to food.
Yeah, I have like a 30-minute rule kind of thing.
Yeah,
If I'm cooking, it's got to be under 30 minutes.
yeah, it's gonna be ready quickly because I'm probably cooking when I'm already hungry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So, what would be your number one destination go-to spot? Well,
before, I never really traveled that much. Like I'm content with being a homebody. Like I'll visit local places here around, like the province or the town, and I'm content. But like Now I just want to go everywhere I've never been in the world. Like, you name it, I want to go there. Like, to the small remote islands, like New Zealand, I guess, is really my biggest heart's desire. I've always wanted to go to New Zealand, and I've always felt like, oh, I'll go. But now it's like, will I ever get to go? Um, so New Zealand, Bora Bora,
Mm.
yeah, those are the two places that my heart longs for because I've always wanted to go there. And now I feel like I don't know if I'll ever get to go there. But
What would you say your pet peeve is since the pandemic or from the pandemic?
I'm a real germaphobe. So, like, this pandemic has heightened my sensibilities around germs. So, that social distancing in the grocery store and, like, really adhering to it, like, I try to keep my 2 feet, but, like, I feel like some other people don't even care about the 2 feet, and it's really, yeah. Can you tell? A little bit annoying.
Right.
A little bit.
All I'm just seeing is like Howie Mandel, like right beside you. You guys would be like the perfect duo right there.
It's just 2 feet, like one human across. Just one. You can do it, I promise.
I think it's just because like now it's not even. I don't even think it's because of the whole like people are over it, but I just feel like people are just doing the whole like I'm fully
Mm-hmm.
vaccinated and I'm a person in front of me is also fully vaccinated. So hey, and I got my mask on, so I'm not even
But
worried. So people are just kind of trying to get back that
yeah,
normal
that normal
vibe of
feeling.
being, yeah, the checkout lanes and
I,
stuff, right? Yeah.
I get that, but like vaccinated people are still getting it. So, like, keep your distance, people. If you see me, short little black girl walking around, keep your distance.
Oh my goodness, I freaking love your personality, man. Your energy is amazing. So what would you say inspires you? Just because you're just so outgoing and you're always like since I've met you, you've always had this big grin on your
Aw,
face, and those that have met you know see it too, right? What brings out your best
you're so
self?
kind. Thanks.
Well,
That was so kind. Um, I
aw.
don't know. I feel like just remembering, like, they always say, I, I don't know. Okay, let me see how I can phrase it. What brings out my best self? I think it's remembering that love makes the world go round. Like, that whole do unto others as you want done to yourself. That's like really one of my guiding things. So, like, I feel like if I love myself enough, I can love the next person. And what does that look like? I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to bring something that's going to cause them to fail. So, like, that's what really motivates me to be my best self. And, like, it's really rooted in, like, the word of God and just trying to be a loving person in everything that I do. So I hope it shows, but sometimes, I'm not so loving, like that whole pet peeve with the pandemic, but for the most part, it's because I don't want us all to fail. So I want us all to be our best selves, like whether it's a little child, whether it's an old person, whether it's my neighbor, I want us all to be our best selves. So, like, what does that look like? It's if I love myself enough, then I want to love you enough to make sure you're doing your best too.
I was like, that's so beautiful because you know what? First thing when you said that, it reminded me of Michael Jackson's "We Are the World" with like all the different artists, songwriters, and composers and singers, all on the one track, and they're all doing different verses and stuff, and they're going all around the world, and it was just such a beautiful. I think that there's a more recent rendition of
Mm-hmm.
that thing with more, I guess, the current artists that are in the charts now. But like definitely when you said that, I just thought, yeah, that is so true. Spreading love all around the world is just it's so
Yeah, it
beautiful.
would definitely give us a different world.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. Yes. 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 So if you could have a billboard with anything on it, what would it be and
My
why?
favorite quote, I think, which is smile, because a friend is someone you just haven't met yet. So it's just
Aw.
that first smile that turns into a hello, that turns into long conversations and meetups and hangouts and any kind of relationship. But without that initial smile, you know how awkward people are, especially here in Vancouver, like, even doing the head nod or like grinning. It's just that initial thing. It goes back to creating a positive vibe all around you all the time.
So beautiful. That's so beautiful. Like, geez, you pulling on my heartstrings this morning. That's so lovely. It was very sweet. So, what is the most important thing you've learned in your life so far?
Wow. That's a hard one for me because I feel like every day, like this whole year before the pandemic was a big
Mm,
learning experience for me. So the the biggest lesson I think I've learned in life so far is
mm,
to trust yourself. Like there's so many voices all around you. It could be your parents, it could be your friends, it could be what you're following on social media or what you're watching on the news or whatnot. But all those voices don't make up like who you are deep within. So there's some things that might not align or totally align that sometimes you're hindered to follow through with or do because of that fear of rejection or fear of judgment or fear of you don't know what the heck is going to happen. So that trusting yourself and like believing you can do or that you deserve or that you are enough like is something that I've totally like come into appreciation of in these last couple of years because the first few decades of my life I'm like I don't know, sure, I
a
don't know,
people
sure, just
pleaser.
following. But in these last 2 years, I feel I've really come into my own just by like relying on my intuition or like the things I feel are right to do. And it's really opened up a lot of doors for me that I never saw before when I was, oh, is this how my mom would do it? Oh, is this how my friends think I should do it? Oh, is this what would be
Right.
acceptable? Like just trusting like you got this, Jemima. Like you're smart enough, like you're strong enough, like you're
Yes.
able enough. So
So,
yeah, I think that's my biggest life lesson so far.
no, that's beautiful. That's exactly, I think, and I think to be real, a lot of us are actually going through, I would say, I'm going to speak on myself, right? And say that I know it's been a huge self discovery because all this time I've always been a people pleaser. You know, I'm always pleasing my family or people that
Mm-hmm.
are close to me. And then it wasn't until really the pandemic or just before the pandemic, and then it really evolved after the pandemic. Just really understanding who I was. It was like rediscovering
Yeah.
myself again, right? Because for the past few yeah, for the past few years it's just always been on other people that I even forgot how to enjoy myself or what is it that I really like to do. And I had to rediscover all those things, right? So yeah, I completely understand that journey that you're on right now, and that realization. What is
Mm-hmm.
something that people seem to misunderstand about you, Miss?
Well, like yourself, a lot of people mistake my quietness because although I might not sound like it right now, I'm such an introvert. And so often in like big settings, I'll be quiet, I'll be reserved, and I have that resting bitch face. I don't know. And so most people think like I'm mean or like I'm hard to approach or
Yes,
I'm a
yes. Let them
bitch.
not go
And
give
so
it
I
to their
like that we
parents
spell
though.
it actually for our younger audience. Right? So I think that sometimes people mistaken me for, but like yourself, if you get to know me, if you get that initial smile and we begin to talk, this bubbly personality often finds its way as we share amongst ourselves,
Yeah,
whether in a joke of laughter. I love to kid around. I don't know if you get that sense from me, but I love to
and
kid
that's how
around.
it
It
should
comes from growing
be.
up with like six boys, so we're always joking, and so yeah. Yeah, I think that's the biggest
You see?
misconception about me. So if you see me, although I
Oh my
want
god,
you to
you're
keep your
hilarious.
distance, I am friendly.
Um, So funny. I love that about you though. And I think that's why we kind of connected, because I just saw that real bubbly but genuine side of you as well. And it's actually, you see it. So I don't know what you talk about, resting bitch look, but okay. Because I don't think I've ever seen you with I've always seen you with a smile on your face, like quite literally, always a smile. So I don't know. What do you do for self-care?
It's because I got self care. Well, that's so hard for me, especially since I became a mom. Like, I don't know. It's really hard for me right now for self care. Like, often I'm being reminded, like,
Hmm.
it's okay if you relax. It's okay if you have a seat. It's okay if you take a nap. So right now for self-care, it's just, being able to have those first 10 minutes in the morning to just pray, to just praise and like just get into that sense of like it's going to be a great day. No matter what happens today, it's going to be an
Yeah,
amazing day. You're already blessed. Like just getting that first 10 minutes before everybody else wakes up to just meditate, breathe, and like think about all the possibilities of this great day. Like that's my self-care right now.
definitely setting the tone for the day. I say that, let's like, I love meditating. I don't get to do
So
it, but
hard sometimes. Sometimes you're just like, gotta go. We're late.
yeah, no, that's beautiful. So it's just so for you, it's praying, meditating, really understanding your day, or
Yeah.
what
Well,
else?
what else do I do for self care? Remembering to eat. Like, that's also something that, like,
Uh,
I sometimes don't
wow.
do. It's funny because before I had my baby, people are like, you don't eat, you don't eat, you don't eat. And I'm like, I eat a hell of a lot. Like, you just don't see that I eat, but I'm like constantly munching or like getting chocolate somehow because like I didn't get on the chocolate game until I was like 22. I was like, I never ate chocolate before. So like, I'm always eating. But then after I had my baby, I'm like, when do I eat? I need to like stop. I make all these meals for the baby, but then I'm like, where's my meal? So just remembering to eat some days, I'm like, it's already 1 o'clock and you didn't even eat anything yet. That's not good. You're gonna like, and it's not like I'm trying
Wow.
to diet or lose like baby weight or anything. It's just like literally, I'm so busy during the day trying to do this or that that I like my whatever synapses don't connect. Like you gotta eat. So, but I think it's
Yeah,
all about being focused on making sure you're taking care of your body. Like I gotta take my iron, I gotta like do my multivitamins and have a piece of bread,
right.
something.
Right. No, no, no. Those are all so important. Yeah, because it's so true. Like that's part of that's really good self-care regimen that you have to implement, right? Because you get so focused again on being so selfless that like you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
have to do this for me. I'm always reminded of like when you get into board a plane, right? They always tell you put your
Mm-hmm.
mask on first before you go and
Yeah.
help somebody else, right? So that's kind of like my new mantra now, because I'm always the one to kind of give my mask to somebody else, and then I'm like, oh, what about me, right? So now I'm learning to just use that analogy to apply to so many things, right? So like, yeah, that's good practice
Yeah.
that you need to get into. You gotta eat, girl. You gotta eat.
we all we all gotta eat.
Or else
Right.
there'll be no meditating.
My little
Oh
nephew
my
used
goodness.
to say it's so funny. He used to be like, "You gotta eat or you end up dead. Like there's no in between. You don't faint, you don't famish. If you don't eat, you just end up dead. So you better eat." So like I often think about that now.
Ice creams. Oh my goodness. I can't believe we're having so much fun here. We're like off to our last question. I'm so sad, but you know what? I am, because we're having so much fun. What is the one thing that you hope to get out of or you hope people get out of the immigrant take?
So I'm so excited that we have the opportunity to do this podcast because like I feel I had something like this when I was first growing up, even like even when I moved out here in Vancouver, just like navigating the field as like a newcomer, having some place you can go listen, get tips, get tricks, get resources, get that you're not alone feeling. um it would have been it would have been helpful. So I hope that our listeners are able to connect with us and join us on this ever learning journey of, you know, making the place that you're newly in feel like home, making it a place where you belong, making it a place where you're happy to be even when stuff's hitting the fan, you know? Like, I hope that our listeners are able to gain not only knowledge or resources, but a sense of like friendship along the way as we journey through this, perspective as an immigrant,
Hmm.
and, becoming naturalized in this beautiful place we now call home, Canada, the best country in the world. So I really hope our listeners are able to tune in, become friends, share and partake in all that we're learning and doing. I'm really excited about it.
Yes, I am too. I definitely agree because this is such a great platform to share with so many immigrants. I mean, not even just immigrants, just to share with others some knowledge
Yeah.
and some experience and just a whole bunch of like, it's almost like you're holding somebody's hand to get across somewhere, you know? And yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just a beautiful, I'm just happy. I'm with you there. I wish that there was something like this when I was growing up or even actually as I'm growing up, right? So
Right?
a lot of things I've had to kind of go out and find myself, and it's just like a happenstance. It just happened accidentally, and
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my
So
goodness, yeah.
super excited.
Right. So, I mean, thank you so much for being on the hot seat today.
It was really hot. I'm like so sweaty and giddy at the same
Yeah,
time.
you know, and we got to learn a little bit about a little more, I guess, about you, and hopefully we'll do like another segment where we do another deeper dive or something, and get to learn more about you. So, thank you, Jim, for being our guest today on the Immigrant Take.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a delight.
For us, until next week, this is Jess and Jam.